Hi, my name is Elari Onawa. I have been a life on purpose coach since 2003, and I'm also the author of Just Believe How Faith in Yourself Shifts Everything. So, as a life on purpose coach, I'm often asked, what do you mean by life on purpose? Well, we have two choices as we navigate life. The first is to create our life experiences by default. In other words, we follow all the stories we inherit from family and our childhood social circles and the institutions that we belong to, and from the way that people react to us to determine who we are and how we should act. So if you create from default, life feels like it's done to you and it feels hard. In the autopilot or default way of doing life, there's drama and blame and conflict, and sometimes a desire to withdraw or a need to control your external environment. None of these work for very long, though, because that runs counter, all of those options run counter to the principles from which life is built upon. The other way to navigate life is to do so on purpose from the higher and wiser aspects of yourself. When you get this beyond what you read in a book or learn in a class, when you embrace it and embody it and use it, your life transforms and expands in glorious ways. When you are on purpose, you're more fulfilled and fully soul expressed. When you're living on purpose, you remove yourself from the trap of trying to please other people. You also learn how to be proudly and happily yourself, regardless of external conditions or other people's opinions. You are free. When you live on purpose, you, capital Y, capital O, capital U, are happily in the driver's seat of your life. So the need to react and defend also disappears because you have the playbook and the tools for creating more of the life experiences that you truly want in life. You also understand on a deep level why you and those you interact with act and feel the way they do and the way you do. And in the way I teach and coach living on purpose, you also understand what your emotions are really telling you so you can navigate life with the wisdom and ease that is already within you. Imagine not being affected by the opinions of other people or living with higher levels of freedom and ease and wisdom. That is why I teach and coach living on purpose, because that is where your freedom and happiness reside. It's where you're able to rise above drama and disappointment and feeling less than or feeling hurt by other people's actions or words. When you live on purpose, you can soar. You cannot if you're living by default, because in that mode, you'll always be affected by external conditions or other people's opinions. And life is going to be tough. You're going to struggle. As I'm recording this, I am just returning from a trip to be with my family. My brother, whom I've loved and adored since the day he was born, recently took his life. He felt trapped. You see, for his entire life, he tried desperately to please others, especially our parents. And when someone was unhappy with him, he took it very personally and he took it hard. You may think that this is way too personal to share, but I'm doing this because far too many people live this way by default. And like my brother, many people don't get how amazing they are. Far too many people live most of their lives feeling like there's something wrong with them, something like they have to prove something. And no matter how much success or stuff they accumulate, they never feel like they're quite enough. Can you relate to this too? I used to feel that way. I used to be that way, overworking and overgiving in a mistaken attempt to be enough and to feel worthy. We are all born with the same opportunities for joy and self love, but most of us, perhaps you too, don't get a playbook for living life as the magnificent being that you are. This is not something that we learn in school or in most religious organizations or in most families. So instead of embracing life, we learn that we have to earn our right to be here. We learn to resist life, feeling that something is wrong, either with ourselves, other people, or with life in general. So from that vantage point, from that foundation, there's this undercurrent of stress and a need to prove one's worthiness that's woven inside how most people live. This will set you up for a rough ride through life. I so wish the outcome would have been different for my brother, but like too many people, he tried to do it all himself. He thought he should just know how to do life, how to feel lighter, loved, and worthy, how to solve the problems that come up day in and day out. But we are not usually taught how to do that in our culture. We're not given those tools. In fact, we're often taught the opposite, and therein lies the problem. If you try to use a social blueprint, the one we learn in schools and what's used in most families and religions, to be happy and fulfilled as an individual, it cannot work. That is not what socializing is designed to do. There's a place for both blueprints, but we all need to learn the differences in order to be in the world, but not of it. In other words, happily engaged in life, in the driver's seat and on purpose from the higher aspects of ourselves, rather than getting caught in disempowering stories or other people's drama or trying to fit into someone else's definition of success. How happy can we be if we are doing that? This is one of the many reasons why so many people are struggling today. They're using the wrong blueprint, they're making themselves wrong, and they don't have the tools to live their best life. If you want to live with unconditional love and the freedom to be your happiest and most fulfilled self, then make that choice. This is my invitation to you to seize this moment now and make a choice to live your best life from the depth of who you truly are, from the higher aspects of yourself. So if you feel like you're just going through the motions, if you feel self-critical, if you overwork and overgive, or let fear of the past or other people's opinions stop you from living your best life, then let this be your moment when you put a stake in the ground and declare that you are ready to live with freedom and joy, that you are ready to live your life as you truly want it to be. And don't stop at that declaration. Learn how to live that. Get the playbook and the quality training and the transformation that allows you to live with true freedom and happiness. I'm choosing to remember my brother for the twinkle in his eyes, for his sense of humor, and for how much he cared. And he cared a lot. I'm also choosing to recommit to my work in a bigger and bolder way. Because when you get how amazing you are, when you learn how to live on purpose rather than by default, when you have the tools to navigate life in a smooth and happy way, life works the way you want it to. So if this is calling you, get the training and the transformation that will make the difference you want to experience in your life. And if you're ready, then I invite you to take the next steps, whether that's with me or someone else. And if you feel drawn toward me, you can find the link to more information below. And I want to leave you with this. You do not have to settle for anything less than what makes your heart sing. Let your light shine brightly because you are extraordinary. Let your life be happy and on purpose. Much love to you now and always.